You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're digging into some really fascinating stuff. We've got sources covering the absolute cutting edge of AI, some surprising, shifts in how we find information now, and even this pretty provocative theory about how tech companies, evolve or maybe devolve. Get ready for some insights that should hopefully make things click and keep you ahead of the game. Okay, so first up, OpenAI's GPT-5. It's a lot of chatter, right? August launch. What's the real story there? What should we actually be looking out for?
Yeah, it's definitely buzzing. What's really interesting is this expectation of integrated reasoning. It's not just about spitting out text. The idea is it can understand context better, make logical jumps, solve problems, more like how we think.
Okay, reasoning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're also hearing about these mini and nano versions to the API. It seems like they want to unify their models, make them simpler to use. It's not quite AGI, of course, but
Right, not the singularity yet.
No.
No.
But launching it could still really shake things up, especially with their big revenue deal with Microsoft.
Okay, so bigger picture. What does this actually mean for us, regular users? And what about businesses trying to reach us? Because this is where I think it gets really interesting. These AI answer engines, they're becoming huge gatekeepers, aren't they? Especially in B2B. ChatGPT's got, 1 billion users now?
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's the core issue. Buyers are increasingly just asking the AI what to buy. They're skipping the traditional research steps we use to map out.
Wow.
Yeah, think about it. If your product doesn't get mentioned by the AI, it's almost like you don't exist online, at least for that buyer. It's not just visibility anymore. It's like digital survival.
So the obvious question then is, how do you get recommended?
Well, that's the tricky part. The data shows really low citation overlap between different AI models, like only 11% between ChatGPT and Perplexity, for instance.
Only 11%. So they're pulling from different places.
Very different. And get this, the most cited domain overall, it's Reddit at 6%.
Hold on. Reddit. Seriously.
So
all those niche subreddits, they might actually be more important for B2B recommendations than, a company's own website sometimes. That's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
And terrifying for marketers.
This certainly demands a new approach, and things change fast. Almost half the cited domains can shift in just 1 month. You need platform-specific strategies now. It really highlights that we need to see these chatbots as self-service tools, understand their limits, put guardrails in place. They're not human replacements.
Right, clear guardrails for the new tech.
Okay. But, speaking of platforms, what about the ones we already use all the time, the ones we're kind of locked into? Our next topic looks at this. Let's call it a theory about how many popular tech businesses operate. Once they've got us hooked, maybe the focus shifts from serving us to, exploiting us. Which brings us to this very blunt term that's floating around, enshittification.
Chuckle slightly. Yeah, it's quite a term.
It is.
Yeah.
So what exactly is it, and why should we, as users and business folks, pay attention? Well, connecting it back, it's described as basically the life cycle of businesses built on network effects. Where more users make the platform better for everyone, like Uber, more drivers, faster pickups, more riders, more fares for drivers.
Okay, standard network effect.
Right. So the theory goes, companies first offer amazing value to pull everyone in, build that user base fast.
Yeah.
But then once we're all kind of stuck there, they start to squeeze systematically. They exploit that locked-in base. The source we looked at mentioned Uber's earnings inflection strategy specifically.
Earnings inflection.
Yeah, basically going from losing money to making profits, partly by squeezing customers and drivers more. The argument is this wasn't an accident, it was the plan.
That paints a pretty bleak picture. So it's suggesting this isn't just, things slowly getting worse by accident. It's potentially a calculated move once a company gets big enough.
The theory suggests it often is, yes, a deliberate pivot once they feel they have dominance. The focus shifts away from making users happy towards extracting maximum value, even if it makes the service worse for us.
Is that inevitable then for these kinds of platforms?
Well, the theory presents it as a common trajectory, a sort of natural life cycle for these kinds of businesses. But it also implies that things like real competition and users being aware and pushing back are key ways to resist it.
Okay, wow. Lots to think about there. So today, we've touched on AI's evolution, exciting, maybe a bit unnerving, and the starker view of some business models. Here's something for you to maybe chew on. We've got AI becoming this massive gatekeeper for information, shaping what we see and buy. And we have this idea of enshittification potentially playing out on the platforms we rely on. So how much real control do we actually have over our digital lives now? And maybe more importantly, what steps can we realistically take to stay informed and, empowered as things keep changing so fast?
Spoken Tech for your ears.